Welcome to the information session for Funding Education Abroad. This is hosted by Education Abroad and National Student Exchange, and we are located in the Office of International Affairs. My name is Lisa Munson. I'm an Education Abroad advisor here at NMSU, specifically dealing with our Spanish-speaking programs, Southern Europe, and a couple others, and I also advise students on our scholarship opportunities. So in this session, we are going to cover all sorts of different types of scholarships that are available for our students who are studying abroad, as well as provide some application tips that apply to all sorts of different scholarships. So we are going to get started with our Education Abroad scholarships. These are scholarships that are within our office. So these are scholarships coming from student fees. They're also coming from the foundation with different private endowed scholarships that we have. The first scholarship fund is open to all of our students who meet our eligibility, both for education abroad and the National Student Exchange. So your 2.5 GPA, being in good standing, having at least sophomore status, and all of those requirements. Those students who want to apply for this scholarship need to complete a scholarship questionnaire in their application, as well as complete their Scholar Dollar. In terms of our endowed scholarship, these are scholarships that have been set up by private donors who have different requirements for their scholarship. So some might require a certain GPA level or a certain area of study, such as Latin America or Japan. Maybe it's specifically only for students who come from a Hispanic background or have participated in Enlace either as a college student or a high schooler. All of our deadlines for these scholarships mirror our study abroad application deadlines. So if students are interested in fall or summer programs, then they need to have their scholarship application complete by March 15th. That does involve both the questionnaire and the Scholar Dollar application. For a spring or winter break program, the deadline is going to be September 15th. Scholar Dollar must be complete in order to award these scholarships. It's the only way that we will know whether or not you meet eligibility and the only way that we can actually disperse the funds to you. All right, next up is scholarships that are on a national level. So the first one is the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship. We have separate information sessions entirely dedicated to Gilman because it is such a large scholarship, but also one that our students have historically done really well applying for. With Gilman, students can win up to $5,000. There's just three basic eligibility requirements. You must be a U.S. citizen because it's put on by the Department of State. You must be an undergraduate, and you must be receiving the Pell Grant. If you don't know whether or not you received the Pell Grant, this would be in your My NMSU financial aid information. It would be a grant from your FAFSA that you do not have to pay back. And so this scholarship really promotes supporting students who may have limited financial means when it comes to studying abroad. There's two deadline cycles. One is in March and one is October. They each cover different program dates, but there is overlap in terms of some of the semesters they cover. So if you consider applying for Gilman early enough, you could potentially apply for the October cycle for a summer or fall program. And if you do not receive Gilman in October, you could then apply again in March and have a second chance at winning those funds. We've already hosted a couple of information sessions about the Gilman Scholarship, but we have information on our website about this as well for anyone who's interested. NMSU has historically been a top producer of the Gilman Scholarship. That means that in certain years we have been ranked very highly in terms of all the Gilman schools regarding how many of our students are applying for and winning these scholarships. They do specifically prioritize minority serving institutions, which NMSU is as an HSI, so we strongly encourage all of our students to apply for this. Related to the Gilman Scholarship is Gilman-McCain. So there's not a separate required application for Gilman-McCain. Students just have to indicate in their application whether or not they're either the dependent child or spouse of someone who is active duty in the U.S. military. You do not have to be specifically receiving the Pell Grant to be eligible for this. It's actually open to anyone receiving any sort of federal financial aid, and the deadlines are the same here. Additionally, there is additional Gilman funding for students traveling and studying abroad in Germany, France, Wales, Taiwan, and New Zealand. So different nonprofit organizations or governments from these countries have contributed money to the Gilman Fund in order for students to go to these countries. So let's say you are interested in studying abroad in Wales, there is more scholarship money available for you to go there. And so it is particularly advantageous for our students in those countries to apply for Gilman because there's a slightly larger pool of money available. There is no separate application needed. Again, those scholarships that indicate that students are traveling to these places for their studies will be reviewed. And if they do win funds, it could just come from this separate pool of money. We also have the Fund for Education Abroad. So for FEA, the amount varies by student. This is a very need-based scholarship, and there are not specific requirements in terms of how much financial needs you have. They just prioritize students with demonstrated financial need. They do that by looking at your FAFSA, and they have different equations for how they calculate what someone's need situation is like. But Fund for Education Abroad in general is a really good opportunity for our students. They have a lot of different scholarships as well for students going on specific programs, students who have certain interests or certain backgrounds, but again, there's only one application required. They've recently made their application even easier. They have decreased the essay requirements for students, so it is not a very complex process to apply. This is a phenomenal scholarship as well for students who are first-time travelers. One of the criteria that FEA looks at is how much traveling a student has done, whether it's been a study abroad experience, traveling personally with their family, maybe they were born abroad. They will take that into account. So if you are a first-time traveler, this is a phenomenal option. Now getting into some other scholarships. So the next couple scholarships here are something that largely the Honors College here at NMSU advises on in their fellowships office. These are very large scale scholarships, kind of focused mostly on critical language study. The first one is the Critical Language Scholarship. What this is it's a fully funded summer program that supports students who are studying specific languages. So there is a list of languages that the US government has deemed critical need. So these are languages that might be really important to the US strategic goals. Maybe they are languages that just aren't commonly studied. So for my students, like Spanish is never going to show up on this list because there are so many people who already speak it that we don't need to incentivize that kind of like learning in summer institutes. But for a lot of specific languages, there is a real need for the government to have people studying those. And so they do prioritize those for scholarship funding. If you are interested in CLS, those deadlines are in mid-November. You can apply on their website and you will receive money towards a fully funded summer language study program in a specific language. We also have Boren Awards for international study. This is kind of similar in a lot of ways to the Critical Language Scholarship. They will give you up to $12,500 to cover between 12 to 24 weeks abroad. You must be a US citizen and an undergraduate, and they are looking specifically for a study in an area that is outside of our most commonly traveled areas for study abroad. So no going to Western Europe, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. And similar to CLS, Bourne is really promoting students who want to be fully immersed in both languages and culture and focus on intensive language study. This, again, is a very intensive scholarship application process. It's got panels and interviews and lots of review levels. And this is one that would be run through the Honors College here at NMSU. Also at the national level, we have the Diversity Abroad Global Ambassador Program. So this is on a smaller scale than some of the scholarships we've been discussing so far, but it is also a much easier application process. Diversity Abroad offers up a $1,000 scholarship. You must be going on a semester-long program and be interested in promoting positive social change. They're also looking for students who are strong writers and good on social media. They're essentially looking for someone who can be an ambassador for study abroad while they're there, really promoting the program options and kind of what the experience is like. The only application requirement is submitting a video essay focused on your program goals with study abroad. Tortuga Study Abroad is another great option for our students. So again, smaller scale scholarship, but a very easy application process. There's just an online application and an essay associated with it. The cool thing about Tortuga is that they are like a travel gear company. So if you win, not only do you get $1,000 towards your travels, but you will also get a travel backpack. So a little added bonus there, really easy application process, just an essay and then an online form as well. We also have the Diverse International Women of Color Study Abroad Scholarship. This is in the amount of $500. You must be a woman of color and very, very good in your academics and in need of financial assistance. They are specifically looking for students who meet these criteria. There are letters of recommendation and transcripts required, and the deadline is in November. So for our students who are maybe still applying for scholarships for their spring studies abroad, this is still an option in terms of some scholarship availability. We also have Phi Kappa Phi Study Abroad Grant. So this is open to all of our NMSU students who meet the eligibility because NMSU is a member organization of the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society. They will award $1,000. You must be an undergraduate, have a very high GPA to 3.75, and not be a member of the Phi Kappa Phi board. This deadline is not until March. This is going to be for programs a bit further out than where we currently are now in September of 2024. And you do have to have letters of recommendation, transcripts, essays, things like that. In addition to all of those general scholarships, we also have scholarships that are specific to certain regions where our students are studying abroad. So in terms of Asia, we have a few different options. If students meet the criteria for Gilman, so undergraduate, Pell Grant, US citizen, and they are interested in studying abroad in East or Southeast Asia, they also meet the eligibility for Freeman Asia, so they should absolutely apply for that. The Toshizo Watanabe Scholarship specifically is for students studying in Japan, and it will cover your cost of attendance for your semester or academic year program. Finally, the Bridging Scholarships also promote study in Japan. Each of these scholarships will have their own specific application processes linked and reviewed on their websites. In Europe, we have a few options as well. So DAAD Germany. If you're planning on studying abroad in Germany, this is an entirely specific scholarship database just for studies in Germany. So students can go to this website, kind of plug in their different eligibilities, the different criteria that apply for them, and see what scholarships are available. We also have the Butex Sustainability Abroad Scholarship. So there are a whole bunch of universities in the UK that are a part of Butex. The ones that we specifically work with are Swansea, Roehampton, and Birmingham. And students applying to those universities who are interested in sustainability are eligible to receive funds from Butex. Finally, similar to the DAAD Germany database, there is Study UK. This is a scholarship database for our students who are studying abroad in the UK, again, where they can go in and search and find scholarships that apply specifically to them. Right, we also have scholarships from our direct program providers. So if you are a student interested in a program put on by one of these providers, and potentially some that are even not on this list, they are going to have their own scholarships available as well. So after you're done with our application process and you are then applying to that university or that program provider, you will go through their scholarship application process. For example, Barcelona Study Abroad Experience, otherwise known as Barcelona SAE, is a very popular program in Barcelona. They are the experts of study abroad in Barcelona. We have 3 programs with them that we work on. They have tons of scholarships for students. Some students are awarded just by applying. So they have some money that students will get just because they're coming from NMSU because we're an affiliate member with Barcelona. Students who get the Pell Grant will receive additional money for that. Students, because we come from an HSI, receive money for that. If students apply for and win Gilman, Barcelona will also give them additional funds there. In addition to all that automatic money that students get just by submitting their regular application, there are scholarship questionnaires for very specific scholarships based on things like kind of being a social media influencer and promoting the Barcelona programs while you're there, things like sustainability, social change, community engagement. All of these programs are going to have options similar to that. So we are going to wrap up with some application tips. So generally speaking, this is going to apply to all the different applications that you're looking at, but the best applications we see, and I've reviewed a lot of scholarship applications at this point, so I'm pretty familiar with what makes an essay a strong one. It's helpful when students are just themselves. Share as much of your story as you're open to sharing in your essays and kind of just be open about your experiences, your challenges, why you're interested in studying abroad, and let the reviewers really get to know you. The more detailed you can be about your experiences and who you are, the better, because when you're a reviewer reading 60 applications in a row, a lot of the essays start to blend together if they're not specific. Also recommend starting early. Like we talked about with the Gilman application, there are 2 application cycles. So depending on when you go and when you start, you may have 2 chances to apply for and win money towards your program. We are also available to help review your essays for your scholarships, talk through options with you, and kind of workshop your ideas. But we can only do that if we're able to look at those scholarship essays pretty early on with you, not super close to the deadline. So giving yourself lots of time to come talk to us, maybe do a few rounds of edits and workshopping, brainstorming, that's the best way to give yourself the best chance here. We also recommend staying organized, so make a note of all of your deadlines if you're applying to a bunch of different scholarships. Make sure that you know when those deadlines are and what you're applying for. Additionally, make sure that your essays are organized. So for Gilman, for example, there are maybe 5 things you have to cover in your statement of purpose. Make sure that you are looking at those requirements, that every single thing that the scholarship committee is asking for is showing up in your essay, even if you're just writing about them in order so you can check them off as you go. It's also really helpful when students are making connections. Maybe you are applying for something like Fund for Education Abroad or Gilman, which require a couple different essays. The really strong applications will draw themes throughout all three essays about kind of who they are and what they're interested in. So if you're maybe a student athlete thinking about studying abroad, maybe that shows up in a few different places across all of your essays, and you can build a really strong case for how that kind of impacts the programs you're choosing and the experience you want to have. Finally, it's simple, but just do it. These essays, these applications, some are harder and more intense than others. We have had students roll up at the last minute, decide to submit a Gilman application, not pass it by us for review at all, just go for it on their own and win $5,000 just like that by submitting the very day before. It never hurts just to try, even if you don't think your essays are good, even if you don't think there's any chance you're going to win. It never will hurt you just to try and make the submission and see where it goes from there. We are here to support you and encourage you along the way. We are here to answer any questions that you have as well. Finally, we're going to conclude briefly by talking about AI in essays. So AI has become quite prevalent, and these scholarship review committees are starting to pick up on that and kind of respond to it. As reviewers, I know right now I'm reviewing for the Fund for Education Abroad. We are specifically being asked to look out for and flag the use of AI. They have told us some of the hallmarks to look for so we know how to catch it. And a lot of the essay uploading systems where you go in to upload your essays, your application pieces, they have tools using AI to try to catch the use of AI. AI can be a great way for some of these essays. They do recommend, it's okay to use it to get started or maybe to check your grammar, but using your entire essay just pulled from like ChatGPT will ultimately hurt you, especially as we continue to learn more about this. Reviewers become more savvy about the use of AI and scholarships start to institute like some rules around how it's used. So the best way to get in touch with us, we have our website where all of these scholarships are listed. I'm also constantly looking for more scholarships to share with our students, so that list is constantly evolving. You can reach us by phone. That's our general email address. Like I said, I'm always happy to help students review your essays and work with you on your scholarship applications. Good luck to everyone applying, and we look forward to hearing from you.